to leave the audience energized but also upset, in his own words. The Marines are merely energized. It is an astonishing cultural transformation. The ride made over as an anthem of American supremacy. This displacement is of a piece with troubling historical continuities of the post-war years, as Nazi scientists migrated to America, as Gestapo-style torture techniques resurfaced in Iraq, as the cult of the sculpted body perpetuated Riefenstahl's Aryan ideal. Eric Rentschler, in his book The Ministry of Illusion, writes, "Contemporary American media culture has more than a superficial or vicarious relationship with the Third Reich's society of spectacle. Nothing in film history demonstrates that idea as vividly as Apocalypse Now, where the German will to power gives way to God bless America imperialism. That slippage mirrors Hollywood's own ambiguous role as an incubator of heroic fantasies, which can serve a wide range of political ends. When Hollywood talks about Wagner, it is often, consciously or not, talking about itself." Even as the apocalypse sequence became a fixture of popular culture, Wagner retained his power to work in surprising ways, against his reigning image as a symbol of bombast and brutality. Two directors who have made particularly sensitive and imaginative use of Wagner in recent years are Werner Herzog and Terrence Malick. To close my lecture, I'll turn to Malick, and in particular to one of his most remarkable films, The New World from 2005, which makes use of the cosmic prelude to Rheingold, an image of primal natural power. To grasp the implications of Malick's vision, we have to understand a particular facet of Wagner's work that is not as well known to the general public, but that has become quite important in latter-day interpretations of his operas. This has to do with environmental crisis, the greatest threat of our time. Wagner's Ring Cycle, the tale of the downfall of the gods, can be seen as a story of humanity's suicidal attempt to master nature. It was in the 60s and 70s that environmentalism became a worldwide concern, with such landmark events as the publication of Rachel Carson's Minatory book, Silent Spring, and the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment. Productions of The Ring from the 70s onward tied the cycle to images of the plundered earth and of environmental dystopia. The scholar Thomas Gray calls this approach to The Ring that of the eco-parable, in which the twilight of the gods becomes the twilight of the entire species, the anthropogenic apocalypse. Malick's The New World tells of the establishment of the Jamestown colony in 1607 and the effect that that invasion had on the Powhatan people, including Pocahontas. At the beginning, we see an idol of nature with 3 Powhatan women swimming in the water. For most of the sequence, the Rheingold prelude swells in the soundtrack, a colossal crescendo in the fixed key of E-flat major, taking off from a deep E-flat in the basses. A more apt and precise application of Wagner on film is difficult to find. The 3 female swimmers are Native American versions of Wagner's Rhine Maidens, who at the beginning of the opera are guarding the gold that the dwarf Alberic will take from its natural habitat, using it to forge his ring of power. Here, the hoard being guarded is nature itself. Then we begin to catch glimpses of the settlers. Wagner's music continues playing as the camera switches between native and foreign perspectives, both groups evincing wonder and apprehension. Rheingold does an intriguing double duty. It sets up an allegory for the white invasion of the Americas as an act of theft, casting the settlers in the role of Alberic. At the same time, the sailing ships are ennobled by the flow of the music. Perhaps they could somehow become part of the idol instead of destroying it. Okay, hear the New World clip. What follows, the story of Pocahontas and her relations with 2 men in the settling party, makes clear what we know very well, that that possibility had no hope of What follows, the story of Pocahontas